Good day everyone, I am Najma Rajab and in this activity, I will perform the third activity which is the equipment and manipulations for filtration. So my objectives are to define what is filtration and what is decantation, to introduce to you the different adapters for filtering crucibles, to show you the steps in folding filter paper and steps in dispensing an aliquot. So what is filtration? So filtration. Filtration is a process used to separate solids from liquids or gases using a filter that allows the fluid to pass through but not the solid. The fluid that passes through the filter is called filtrate. Gravity filtration is the simplest form of filtration in chemistry and used widely in chemical laboratories. In gravity filtration, the solid is trapped by the filter and the filtrate is collected through the funnel into the flask. Filtration happens every day around the world. So here are some examples of filtration to understand more what it is. So coffee filter is a common gravity filtration to brew coffee. Hot water passes through the ground coffee and the filter. So another example is the So after we cook the spaghetti noodles, we pour the contents of the pot through a colander which acts as a filter. The wastewater runs through the holes around the noodles are captured in the colander. So I hope it's understandable. I hope you understand what is filtration. So without further ado, let's proceed to the adapters for filtering crucibles. But let us define first what is filtering crucibles. So, filtering crucibles serve not only as containers but also as filters. A vacuum is used to hasten the filtration. So, the first one is the sintered glass crucibles are manufactured in fine, medium, and coarse porosities. The upper temperature limit is usually 200 degrees Celsius, made of quartz and can tolerate substantially higher temperatures without damage. So the second one is a Gooch crucible has a perforated bottom that supports a fibrous mat. Small circles of glass matting are used in pairs to protect against breaking during the filtration. So the third one is the glass mats which can tolerate temperatures in excess of 500 degrees Celsius and are substantially less hygroscopic. So let's proceed to the decantation. Decantation is a process of pouring a liquid gently so as to not disturb a solid in the bottom of the container. So here are some examples of decantation. Take a beaker and add water into it. Take sufficient salt and add it to water. Mix the contents of the beaker thoroughly. Keep this mixture undisturbed for half an hour. Observed salt settled at the bottom. Now they are separated within the beaker. This process is known as sedimentation. Now in this part, take out the water without much disturbance. This process of separation is called decantation. In general life, we unknowingly use decantation for washing rice. So we proceed in folding a filter paper. So the first step, fold your filter paper in half, then open it and rotate it 90 degrees and fold it in half again. Open it and rotate it 45 degrees and fold it again halfway between the existing folds. Open it again, rotate 90 degrees and fold it once more. Your filter paper should now be divided into 8. Then flip it over on the bench and repeat what you just did, placing the folds midway between the folds made on the other side. When you're folding a filter paper, don't use a ruler or press too hard with your fingernail when folding. When you are done, your filter paper should be divided into 16 with with alternating creases up and down as seen here. So, steps in dispensing an aliquot. But first, let us define what is an aliquot. So, an aliquot is a portion of a larger whole, especially a sample taken for chemical analysis or other treatment. An aliquot was examined daily for the appearance of cholesterol monohydrate crystals. So, without further ado, let us continue. So, dispensing an aliquot. So, the first one is draw a small amount of the liquid into the pipette and wet the interior surface belt by tilting and rotating the pipette. Repeat this procedure 2 or more times. Manipulate the suction bulb with your left hand if you are right-handed. Then carefully draw the liquid to a point above the calibration mark. The second one is rapidly remove the bulb and place your index finger over the open end of the pipette to prevent the flow of the liquid out of the tip. Next step is withdraw the tip of the pipette from the liquid and wipe it with tissue. So the last step is hold the pipette vertically with the tip gently pressed against the inside of the beaker as shown. Carefully release the pressure of your finger against the end of the pipette and allow the liquid to flow out of the pipette until the bottom of the meniscus exactly even with the calibration mark. Stop the flow of liquid, tilt the pipette at a slight angle, and dispense and the liquid into conical flasks or receiving vessels.
That's all. So, my conclusions. I conclude that filtration is extremely important to keep things like water, chemicals, and pharmaceuticals clean, pure, and free of contaminants. If it wasn't for filtration, we might not have safe drinking water because it plays a crucial role in eliminating sediment, sand, gravel, carbon, and other suspended particles. Thank you.